A couple weeks ago, my freaking Apple Watch broke. It just stopped reading my heart rate. Yeah, it was super annoying, but I actually had to basically go a couple days without it. And I honestly felt like a lost little dog wandering the neighborhood. But after all, distance does make the heart grow fonder. But I realized that I've been taking a few things for granted because I've been using the Apple Watch for like 3+ years now. And I so consistently use it to track my workouts and everything that going without the Apple Watch made me realize what I was missing out on. Now, really quickly, this is not an ad for an Apple Watch, but I do actually want to quick tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which happens to be Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix. And if you're a really active person, if you do a lot of cardio sessions, strength training, or if you live in the hot freaking desert like I do, you have to be replenishing your electrolytes. And that's where Element comes in, because in every 10-calorie packet, they give you a science-backed ratio of electrolytes, which is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, as well as 60 milligrams of magnesium. Now, what's amazing about each one of these packets is there's no BS in it. There's no added sugar, there's no coloring, there's no fillers. And speaking from personal experience, I've been using Element for like over a year now, and I absolutely love this product. I would highly recommend it. They truly help me hydrate and replenish those electrolytes lost when I'm just freaking sweating them out. I don't know if you know this, but you lose a lot of salt when you sweat. And if you don't replenish these electrolytes, you're gonna get brain fog, you're gonna get cramps, you're gonna be more cranky and miserable, and you actually might even be more hungry without realizing you just need more electrolytes in your system. So I've done you a favor and linked Element right below in the description, so go check them out like right now. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single-serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/BryanAdamC. This deal is only available through my link, so you must go to drinklmnt.com/BryanAdamC. So the first and biggest thing that I was missing out on just going a couple days without an Apple Watch are all of the metrics that I get from having this fitness tracker. When I'm strength training, it's amazing to be able to just look down at your wrist and see where your heart rate is, especially in between sets, because a lot of times you wonder, well, how long should I be resting between sets? And sometimes you're resting for far too long. And a lot of times for me, after I've done a really hard set, my heart rate will be in the 130s, 140s if I'm training legs, sometimes even up into the 150s. And before each subsequent set, what I usually do is let my heart rate drop down back into like the 110s, sometimes even 100s. But having this metric alone makes my strength training so much more focused, and I'm just finding myself less distracted. How many people have you seen at the gym hitting a set and then sitting around looking at their phone, not doing shit, and they spend like an hour at the gym and they've done a total of like 8 sets? What is that? But when you have something like a fitness tracker or an Apple Watch, it keeps you freaking focused on the workout, and that little heart rate metric, man, it goes a long way. Now, when I'm doing cardio, the same thing here. Having access to that heart rate and seeing what zone I'm in is really helpful. If I'm sweating it out on the elliptical, I like to try and be in zone 3, where my heart rate is around 140 BPMs, and I found that this is one of the best areas where I can really lean down if I'm cutting, which I'm currently in the process of trying to cut down from a bulk that I've been on, but this is kind of that magic zone for me. And I've just figured this out over the years of using the Apple Watch and seeing where my heart rate is while I'm doing cardio. The other thing that's super nice is just knowing how long your strength training or your cardio sessions are, especially if you're outside and you're not actually on a machine, which can tell you how long your cardio session is. But if you're on a walk or a run outside, how long are you even out there for? But also knowing how much distance you're actually covering, how many miles you're walking, how many steps you're actually taking. Having access to all of this information is so much power. And what I've noticed for me personally is it makes me focused so much more on the workout and making sure I'm doing enough for the daily goals that I've set. Now, the other thing that's just freaking great about having an Apple Watch is it also tracks your sleep. If you haven't seen any of my videos, I talk a lot about the importance of sleep, especially if you're trying to either burn body fat or build muscle or just feel better. Sleep is paramount. And if you have something that can track your sleep, and especially over time, you can get an idea of how you sleep. And even with these newer watches, it can actually give you an idea of the different sleep stages that you're in. It tracks your REM sleep and your deep sleep. And keep in mind, these are just estimates, but to get an idea of those sleep patterns and how much time you're in bed and how you're sleeping, dude, that's so important. And when you have information like that, you can quickly say, what am I doing that's maybe impeding on my sleep? And how can I improve my sleep? Maybe you're having too many drinks right before bed, or you're eating too much pizza right before bed, or you're drinking too much caffeine before bed. All of these things that you may not even realize are impacting your sleep, but when you can look at these metrics, it makes you think through these things and make life changes that make your life better. I can tell you right now, before I ever had something on my wrist that was tracking these things, I didn't have any clue. I was just living life. Vigilante Bryan over here. And then all of a sudden, those habits caught up to me. And I was like, dude, I need to figure some shit out. Now, beyond all of those metrics within working out, as well as the sleep, I also love the overall caloric estimate that the Apple Watch can give you. Now, I've talked about this a number of times on different videos, but this is such an important metric. Now, before you get feisty in the comments and say, well, it's not super accurate. Yeah, we get it. It's maybe not the most 100% accurate thing, but when you can see a consistent estimate of your total daily energy expenditures in an actual caloric number, especially when you can see this number over time, day after day, and when you're also in some way tracking your food, you can consistently depend on those numbers to either lose weight, gain weight, or maintain weight. And dude, it freaking works. It worked for my twin brother. It's worked for me. I've had other friends who have done this, and this is probably one of my favorite components of the Apple Watch, is getting that idea of how many calories am I really burning every single day. And without that, you're just kind of this leaf in the wind. I definitely remember before I had an Apple Watch, I would work out for maybe 20 minutes. I would feel my heart rate get higher. I would maybe even sweat a little bit, and I would think, yeah, I freaking worked out hard today, bro. And then I would go and have like a 2,000 calorie dinner. And in actuality, like that workout alone maybe burned 150 calories, maybe. And I didn't have an idea of that at all, which is crazy to think about now. Let's just be honest really quick. If you're working out and you're not using a fitness tracker, the chances are you're probably underestimating the amount of work that you're doing in relation to how much food that you're eating. And I think this is a big reason why people struggle and feel like they still can't lose weight. Well, do you have even the slightest idea of how many calories you're burning every day? And it also does help to get an idea of how much calories you're eating. These two numbers are paramount to losing weight or gaining weight. We know this. Do you know this yet? You should know this. The other amazing thing is the Apple Watch gives you metrics like your VO2 max and if you have an irregular heartbeat, as well as respiratory rates and blood oxygen levels. Like, dude, this freaking technology is amazing. And you can get like a refurbished or a couple generations older Apple Watch for a couple $100. Why not make an investment in your life? And maybe it's not the Apple Watch, maybe it's an Oura Ring or a whoop strap? Why is it called that? Whatever it is, having this kind of accountability is so paramount to you, like literally kind of getting end to end on how you feel every single day and getting healthier. The other thing that I really love about the Apple Watch is just it keeps me accountable. Having those little rings that you gotta close every single day, that like visual metric of seeing that, it's pretty addicting to close them. And look, no one's ever told me, Bryan, go work out today. Maybe a PE coach has, and that was bullshit. What was I, freaking in 7th grade? But in my adult years, even my wife, she's been great. She loves me regardless, but she's never been like, hey, fat ass, go work out. And there's been moments where I've told myself that, but once I got the Apple Watch, it was like the framework for my fitness and the consistency thereof just immediately set in place, because you're able to set goals in terms of your move goal and how long you're gonna work out each day. And just having those basic metrics that you know you have to meet keeps you at it every single day. Have you gone 2 weeks of working out and then you're like, and then you fall off? And then you go 2 months and you don't work out. And then you're consistent for another 2 weeks and then you fall off again. Dude, invest in yourself. Invest in something that can keep you accountable. And I'm sure there's people that have an Apple Watch and they're still not consistent. I'm not saying this is the end all be all fix for your life. I know it's worked for me, and if you're anything like me, it'll probably work for you. So that's my rant for you today on the Apple Watch, and I'm definitely glad to have it back and using it. And you know what's nice is even those couple days where I wasn't using it, because I had been using it for so long prior to that, I had an idea of how much exercise my body needed, and especially against how much food I was eating that day. So all of these habits eventually just get ingrained into you. Even if you use an Apple Watch for like a few months, just to get an idea of what you're doing, it can probably change your life. Thanks so much for watching this video. Really appreciate the ongoing support from viewers like you. You're freaking awesome. If you need good music for your videos, definitely go check out moodsounddesign.com, and I'll see you on the next one, friends. Peace.